Hello and welcome once again to the Varlastan Circle, a D&D 5e adventure in a homebrew setting brought to you by Penance RPG, an actual play podcast and Twitch variety stream. You can find out more about Penance RPG at penancerpg.com or in the stream information below. I'm Lunrwolf, an occasional variety streamer and creator of the Varlastan setting. I'll be guiding our cast through the trials that await them this evening. You care to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Dragon. I am playing Aria, Aasimar Ranger. She is quite confused by everything that they've found going on here. It feels like it's getting more complicated rather than less as time goes on. And this whole having a dream about a well and then it kind of happening the next day is concerning.
Thank you. Silic?
Hello, I'm Eden. I'm playing Silic, who is a total paladin. He's been going through something of a crisis of faith more recently. He spent last week meditating, thinking on this, the wonders of other beings, other deities, potentially, things that conflict with the core faith of the circle. And yeah, he's still in that vibe. So
I think you will have more to worry about very shortly. Jack?
Hi, I'm Amy. I play Jack, our happy-go-lucky rogue gnome. Last session, he really enjoyed his day, actually, last session. Got down the slide. He's quite excited to actually share with Silic what happened and how much he missed on his little meditation. But he's enjoying himself, clueless to what's really going on.
Yep, that sounds right.
I mean, it sounds like a carefree life.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He's just happy to be on the road with his friends.
And hi, I'm AJ. I'm playing Timidar. He is a sleepy wizard. And he's a dragonborn, I guess. Yeah.
The important bit is he's sleepy.
Yeah, that's the most important bit.
The most important bit is he's a sleepy, and then he's also a wizard.
Yeah, in that order.
Yep. Yes. Sleepy is now a dragonborn subrace, it would appear. Okay. So, when we left our adventurers last week, it was dinner time.
Yes.
You were just about to sit down for some dinner. Silic had finished his meditations with the sound of dinner percolating up through the floorboards of the inn. Must be time to rejoin the party. Take it away.
okay, so Silic comes down the stairs, kind of stretches a little bit, sees all of his friends at the table, and comes over and joins them. Oh, how was the day? My apologies for that. I felt the need to take some time to myself there.
It's like you missed me at such a good time.
Oh?
Jack had such a good time.
Oh.
You need to work on your landing just a little bit. You just needed to step off just a few seconds before the end, Arya. Then you wouldn't have had the tumble. But Timidar made a slide. It was amazing.
To what end? What reason was there for a slide?
Well,
There was a slope, and I didn't want to walk.
well, we had to walk up it, and we thought Timidar had a bright idea about going down would be fun. So
So you remember how we had that dream about the a tunnel in the well. There was a tunnel in the well. There wasn't a creature in it, though. It was completely uninhabited.
That's a relief.
Yes.
Tell you
Yeah,
what there
I
was
did
in there,
not-
though.
I did not want to face that thing. But there were footprints.
And
Human.
treachery.
Humanoid.
What manner of treachery?
But
A conspiracy. I've been talking about it for ages, and finally we have proof.
Oh,
it's not 100% confirmed. We don't know yet.
It's pretty
There's
confirmed to me.
something that there's definitely something that's being kept from us.
to what end? Well, what did you find?
This tunnel split into two. One part went up to the cliff next to the old observatory tower, and the other stopped at a trapdoor under Varlastan's storeroom. And while we were there, we noticed we were able to see Varlastan returning through a magic circle.
Oh. That doesn't bode well.
It certainly raises quite a few questions.
Had all sorts of magical junk in there.
Yeah,
There was a
really
lot
shiny.
of low-level magic. Although that circle was some of the highest magic I've ever come across. Like, it was really significant.
Oh, well. And he looks around at the group a little bit forlorn. Well, it sounds like it's a little bit more serious than you first made out. So, what's the thought on today's plans?
Well, I wanted to burn it down, but I was talked out of it.
Oh,
You would take down half the village with it.
Yeah. And
perhaps a
all those
little
poor
drastic.
people. It is a bit extreme. We haven't done anything.
I prefer to not do anything that isn't reversible. At least until we have all of the information.
Well, ice powers, I can reverse a fire, it's fine.
Not when it's incinerating an entire little village.
It
Well,
might work better the other way around. Perhaps freeze it first and then thaw it out, rather than incinerate it and then I don't know what you would do with ice after that. But
make a slide.
Can we? Can we?
well, I'm happy to take your lead. And Silik sits down at the table and. In fact, is there enough food at the table? Should he go and get his own food? This is semantics, really, but
Your food is immediately available to you.
he sits and joins then.
I'm more confused. Isn't Timidar outside keeping an eye on the
Nope.
well?
Yep, I'm on a roof. I've been shouting down to you the whole time.
That was the just after dinner before everyone goes to the
Yeah.
room plan.
This is a flashback right now.
I see. That
That's
makes more
fair.
sense.
Well, I can't hang around here all day. I've got to go sit up on the roof and watch something. Was I watching the well?
Yeah, you were going to watch and see whether anyone tried to do something interesting with the well. Now it's been bricked back up.
Yeah, that was what I was doing. I suspected smuggling.
In an act of
Yes,
blatant
that-
defiance of local customs around going to bed at a sensible time.
Fuck those customs. I do what I want.
Such a rebel.
Them fighting words.
I like to sleep, but I don't like to have a bedtime.
Well, if it's bedtime after mealtime, have we really what are we going to do as the rest of the group?
I don't recommend going to bed straight after eating.
Oh, I got so tummy and bad dreams.
You
No,
generally,
it's the perfect time. I sleep best when I do that.
you generally
Say
have
that
a
I'm looking
little
to go
bit
back
of
to bed.
time to play with. if not necessarily a huge amount, but you would have a little bit of time between eating and being expected to retire.
I mean, did we not want to talk to the circle lady? Or
I mean,
Were
we
we just
do need to
gonna-
talk to Varlastan, but I've got no idea what approach we should use with her. Oh, I know we were going to wait until you had some results from your research for us, but we were accidentally spying on you and saw you use a really fancy magic circle, and we didn't know you could do that, so can you justify it to us, please?
yeah, I don't think that's quite gonna work.
Yes. Likely to be drawing a little bit more suspicion than we might like.
So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how we should approach Varlastan.
Not at all for now, I suppose. We should perhaps see who approaches her.
Yes, that's a good plan. Were the footsteps in the tunnels, did they look recent? I can't remember.
It was kind of difficult to say for certain, but certainly the ones that led down to the well would almost certainly have been fairly recent, given that it had only just been breached. The nature of the tunnel floor didn't really give itself to being able to age things very well.
In fairness, they might not have been aiming for the well at all. They could just be really bad at directions underground.
And it's not like there aren't a few other things in the same approximate direction as the well, like an inn, for example.
Perhaps the inn has a connection to the potential smuggling route that is easier than the well.
Ooh, it's not a good time going down there, in fairness. And we could certainly try our hand at connecting ourselves to the black market around here, finding out where things are traded.
That definitely seems like a solid plan. I don't think we have any outstanding favours to people, do we? We went to see the turnip farmer, and we sorted the well. I think our time's our own at the moment.
Yeah, we could just leave.
This is true. There is always the circle ahead.
But, well...
But we still have to get Kuji home.
Well,
Yes.
Varlastan was looking into things for us. Maybe we should go and see Varlastan in the morning.
Here's what I propose. As a group, we develop a new move where we get people to do things for. You say, "Can you look into that?" and we'll be back, and see what you find, and then we just leave and never come back.
Kind of just making it somebody else's problem. You mean?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
I mean, that's kind of what happened to us, isn't it?
Yeah, I just want a bit of payback. That's all. Keep turning up in towns, people going, "Oh, my turnips are missing," or "Oh, there's a hole in my well," or "Oh, somebody stabbed all these chickens to death," or trust me, something like that's coming. And people were like, "Why can't you solve your own problems?"
But that's the purpose of going on the loop.
We had this conversation earlier.
Yeah.
Why are we being asked to fix a well when there's perfectly good stonemasons in the town and things? We're just a bunch of
We're on our
randoms.
loop. Everybody has to do this at some point.
Yeah, but we're not bricklayers. Why are we doing the bricklaying?
Because
I mean,
that's what we're
It
supposed
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, we figured it out. We're not idiots, but I mean,
Also, I'm the one that did it. Why are you complaining?
it's kind of boring to watch.
You laid bricks? You built a wall?
No, we bricked up the hole in the well so that all the dirt wouldn't fall into the water.
It's a public service, Timidar. You must understand. Of
I
course,
also know
the
that there's
group must be
probably-
doing such things.
Yeah, but
Guys,
have you ever built a brick wall before? There's probably people in
Guys.
town who know how to do it better than we do. Why are they waiting for us to do it?
there's no time to bicker. Let's not bicker, please. No bickering at the table, please.
Yes,
I'm
I'd rather
about to
not.
be
It just kind of brought my mind to a kind of stillness that I'd rather not break. And, well, were you not going out to the roof, Timidar?
Yes, I'm going to do that after dinner.
That was
Being-
very pointed from Sillet.
That's what the script says, anyway.
Silik's kind of mopping up his plate and using a bit of bread to get the last of whatever he's been eating.
Right, I'll piss off then. Trying to get rid of me.
Okay. Didn't somebody say? Was there not funky lights in the sky at the tower?
Yes.
And there's a path to the tower from the well to where it used to be, because we couldn't get to it, could we? From the bottom. So, and the stabby thing with the knife.
Well, we have just bricked up the entrance that we had.
Yeah, we might not have wanted to do that.
Good thing we're not very good at laying bricks.
Oh, you're still here.
I can't hear you, I'm shouting down from the roof.
Well, we know where there is another entrance. In the Roundhouse.
Oh, that's true. So we're gonna have to be really quiet.
Well, it's not really my forte, but I suppose we can let you go on ahead.
Don't take jingly things, Sirik.
He kind of looks at himself, and he's quite a bulky, big guy. Well, it's not really that so much as I can't really crouch behind things and be unseen. Not unless somebody's got a real penchant for turtle ornaments, and I can blend in a little bit in those circumstances. It's been a very rare thing that's been called upon, but
That's a
From
little
time to time.
barbaric, is it not? Turtle shell.
well, yes, of course. But well, in those circumstances, if subterfuge will suffice,
Sure,
go
there's-
on, go for it.
I'm sure there's some psycho out there who's into turtle stuff. And
There's a variety of hunters around the world. So it's
Same.
kind of like lost a little bit and thinking like maybe I shouldn't have brought this up.
That got a little dark, didn't it?
Just a smidgen.
He's dealt with things in the past.
Poor Sillet. So, Varlastan is often not in the Roundhouse.
Or so she
I
says.
assumed we would be able to get past any law that they use.
Oh yeah, I'm good at that.
At that point, we just go through to the storeroom and drop down the trapdoor.
It's as good a plan as any for now. We'll see if they're there in the first place and go with the flow, as it were.
But what
So
if
I feel bad that we're leaving Timidar up on the roof. Should we perhaps
I mean,
bring him with us?
I mean, I'm sure he's all up for a conspiracy, because if she's not there, he might want to raid her office.
This is true. He does have an eye for these things.
In fact, we could raid her office.
Well, I'll certainly stand guard while you rifle through the things.
I mean, we don't have to, but it might
Yep.
help our little investigation. Maybe?
I have an
Mistakes.
out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
Did we notice do we know if Varlastan lives in the Roundhouse, or if that's just their place of work?
Based on your knowledge of the typical setup, you know that it's likely that Varlastan would treat the Roundhouse as their residence as well as their office. You didn't see any indication of that when you were in there. but you didn't search the entire building, so you can't rule it out.
That is. But then she can also be gone for days at a time, so
Yeah.
it's worth
Could
checking whether there's a note on the door. Anyway.
Well, let's give it a go. Let's get out there and see whether they're there and what's going on.
Well, if there's a note on the door that they're away, I'll come back and get Timidar. How does that sound?
That'll
While
work.
Jack breaks in and has a nosy.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I nip outside and call out to Timidar and let him know the plan.
Okay.
You're just
then
shouting
just-
it in public.
Yeah, I'm going to assume you're suitably vague about it, so that since you're shouting it in public.
I'm not just screaming at full volume.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll keep a sharp eye on this well.
Just gonna come out and join Arya and just wave.
No. Is it okay up there?
Yes. Very roof-like.
I would have said picturesque.
I wouldn't go that
Nope.
far.
Is it not a nice view?
It's not very cozy up here.
You should have brought a coat then.
Look, we could all day go on about what I should have done in my life.
Okay, I think we should go. Arya is really quite tired by this point.
That's reasonable. It's been a fair old day.
And she got a concussion.
She did.
Oh yeah, she did. Oh, at that.
Hence the not being nearly as impressed with the slide as Jack was.
Yep.
Best day ever.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to head across to the Roundhouse and see what the deal is. See what you can see. Okay. There's still a few folk in the streets. Not an unusual number at all from previous days. No one's really paying any attention to you. Sorry?
Are any of them around the Roundhouse?
Not particularly. People don't avoid it, but they would only seek it out if they were looking to speak to Validsim for something.
Okay.
So you can get there without really having to interact with anybody. That's not a problem. You get there and the door doesn't have a note on it, but is currently closed.
I mean, it's not that long since we saw her come back.
Do you want to knock?
We should err on the side of caution.
I mean, I can always sneak through a window and you can keep her at the door.
Well, is the level of suspicion really that high? And Silik's looking at the two of them like, what did you see last week that's really got you this hepped up?
Jack's just being helpful.
Jack is always up for helping, no matter how illegal it might be.
I've got good hands.
No comment.
Well, I think we should probably speak to them directly at first, at least. Maybe see if there's something going on that is overt. Maybe it's not all that you're making it out to be.
Maybe we just tell her we found the start of the tunnel and we're gonna go and investigate it tomorrow. And we're just making her aware if she maybe knows of, like, if it's in the plans of the village. I don't know. I'm not an engineer.
That's a good idea. That's quite a good cover for it.
Yes. a solid plan.
Okay.
Right, okay. Arya walks up and knocks on the door.
And a voice from inside. Enter.
Open the door. I assume the three of us walk in.
Hello! Give the customary Jack wave.
Good evening. What can I do for you this evening?
We were hoping to seek some advice from you about a local matter.
Oh, that sounds intriguing.
Well, it may or may not be. We're not really sure yet. The innkeeper has asked us today to do some maintenance on the well in the backyard.
Oh, yes.
It was very strange. It looked almost like the start of a tunnel. Or, I suppose, the end of a tunnel that had gone into the well. I was just wondering, are there tunnels? Is this something that's known? Like, is it going to be a problem if we block off this entrance?
Well, that is interesting. I'm not aware of any authorised excavations in the village, and I'm certainly not aware of anyone who should be compromising a water source. That's definitely not an acceptable sort of thing to be doing. Has the supply been restored? Have you been able to deal with that for him?
Yes, we have covered up. We've re-bricked that section of the wall of the well. It might take a day or two for any of the remaining sediment to settle fully.
Okay, I'm glad you were able to assist him. But no, there's no reason for somebody to be doing anything of the kind. It's not really safe. The earth around here, as you've seen with the old observatory, the earth around here is somewhat prone to sudden movements, and it's definitely, I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody to be even building a cellar, really.
Goodness.
The only cellar I know of in town is here at the Roundhouse, and I think the innkeeper has a little bit of a cutaway for his barrels, but it's just not safe to be doing that sort of engineering, really, in just around here. I think when we first investigated the old ruins on the very edge of the village, it looked like they had built their cellars, but then something had happened, and most of the ruined buildings, they've just fallen into their own cellars. So when the village was expanded, probably 10 or 15 years ago now, it was a very hard rule that you had to come and seek specific permission to build a room below ground.
Well, I hope nobody is. It sounds far too dangerous for anyone to be underground at all, whether they're digging a tunnel or indeed just walking along one. That sounds very unsafe.
Yes, you mentioned the tunnel in the Roundhouse itself. Do you ever make use of it? I can't imagine you would, given what you've said, but is it not a liability to have that simply there?
A tunnel in the Roundhouse?
A basement.
We have a cell. We have a cellar.
Sorry, my apologies. The basement, the lower levels.
It's just one subsurface level. It's just because of the way that the That just because of the way that the earth is shaped here, it was convenient for placing the roundhouse here that we could dig out a little bit to make that additional space. Because the positioning of roundhouses can be somewhat restricted, especially when you're putting a village back together like we did here.
I see. Yes. He's very sagely kind of trying to look as if it's like, oh yes, of course, hollows.
If you like, and I could go and investigate the tunnel for you. We gnomes, we like our tunnels. I could tell you a few things about it if you like.
But if you've bricked it back up, you wouldn't be able to gain access unless you happened across the other end of it. But the chances of that, that would seem to be a fairly unachievable task, even for a group of adventurers in service as you.
Well, I suppose we could take down the wall for a short time and brick it back up when we came back out. But no, I see what you mean.
Jack's gonna look a bit sad because he was like, oh, I want to go down in the slide.
Well, we find ourselves at a loss for things to do locally. Is there anything else happening that you could inform us of? Any tasks? Anybody with strange ongoings?
I don't believe I'm aware of anything. There's some there are some groups of hunters moving through, but that's normal. They're in the higher places at the outer edge of the village. They may be in need, but they're not necessarily going to be as welcoming as villagers would be. They're very much self-sufficient. That's one of the key things we look for when identifying good hunters. But there's nothing immediately pressing that I can think of. I'm just trying to keep things ticking along here while I wait for some more information to come through from Sperris.
Well, I'm sure we can find someone to help. There's always something that we can do that's useful.
Yes, very true.
Aye, those in need will make themselves known to you. I'm certain of that.
Well, both of our tasks that we've completed so far in the village have been almost found by chance. So, I'm sure we'll be fine.
The hand of Armand is guiding you. This is what we wish for, Riverloop.
Yes, indeed. Well, I suppose we've taken up enough of your time.
No, not at all. But it is, and I can see from the window it's getting towards nightfall, and it may be time that you were returning to the inn before they start locking the doors on the outside. It wouldn't do for you to be caught outside. You're familiar with the local reasoning on this.
The memories?
Yes.
It is. We've heard something about it, but it's very curious.
It is.
Well, if it helps them to sleep better, then that is good enough.
Aye. Local customs are a thing to adjust to from time to time.
Indeed. Thank you very much for your help this evening.
No problem at all. Go well, and with the blessing of Armand upon you.
Sleep well. Thank you for your help.
Good day to you. Good day.
She ushers you
Sorry,
back out of
Jenkins.
the door.
We'll talk when we get back to the inn.
Yes.
Well,
Did you
thanks,
spot anything in the room? Was there anything? I mean, I didn't sense anything too amiss with their behaviour.
Did you notice how strongly she reacted to the idea of a tunnel in the Roundhouse?
Yeah,
Yes.
her basement does have a trapdoor.
Yes, my
I did not-
apologies.
No,
Slip
no,
of the tongue.
No, that's fine.
it's easily done, but she did react very strongly to that idea.
Either she's lying or she's blind to the fact that she has a trapdoor in her basement.
Surely one would know if such things were in their property. I can't imagine living in a place and not finding a door and not trying it.
Especially if you mention that basement in the same sentence.
They've been here quite a long time.
Mm.
So,
Well, let's get back to Timidar and find out if he's spotted anybody going for that well.
yes.
Let's check our lookout.
Okay.
Have I spotted anybody going for the well?
Only the inn staff, who've been going in to fetch water from it as you would expect.
Okay. Nothing suspicious, though.
Not unless people being thirsty is suspicious to Timidar.
So everybody.
Surely.
No, but nobody seems to be screwing around with it. They're just getting water, is that what you're saying?
Yep, they're just getting water.
Okay. I am just to set the scene, I'm lying flat on the roof, holding the wand of magic missiles pointed at the well, and at the first sign of anything, I'm fucking up whoever's messing with it. That's how I've set myself up.
Okay, well, if we kind of approach then from the bottom of the building, Sileg's going to kind of bellow up, Timidar! Timidar!
Lying flat, I'm just like,
I hope no one was trying to sleep already.
you're going to blow my cover.
It
What's
doesn't
wrong with
matter.
you?
We can still see you.
Yeah, but when it gets dark, I'll blend in.
Ah, come down,
It'll be a
man.
while yet.
Come down. We
No.
need to...
Come up
What?
here.
Oh? And he looks at the other two. Well, suppose we could. And kind of looks up at the sun. How much time does it feel like we have?
You probably have enough time to get up there, have a short conversation, and back down again. But it's not necessarily the biggest roof in the world.
I vote if anyone else is going up on the same roof, we send up Jack.
Jack's
Yeah.
literally just sort of says, I don't really want to climb the roof. I kind of want to.
Oh, fine, I'll get down. I just roll sideways off the roof.
You want to go to bed soon anyway. Come on.
I already told you I'm staying up here. I'm going to keep an eye out.
And you are want to stay outside in the dark, alone, with all the weird memory things going on.
I don't think the weird memory things are real.
No?
No, I think it's people screwing around, smuggling weird things, and I think this is all a big sham. This is, this is, this is a cover story. And I'm here to see through
magical
it.
items.
Yeah, did you not see them? And were you not going to break into the back room of the roundhouse? Is that why you went over?
Well, we didn't
I'm on the
really
ground
see-
now.
Okay.
We didn't really see into
So
the back
going-
room or anything. We just had a conversation. It was kind of cordial, in fairness.
Waste of a trip then.
We interviewed her.
Not completely wasted trip. apparently there are no authorized tunnels in the
Right.
village.
You're saying this is some kind of illegal tunnel operation.
Well, the
Possible.
tunnel is certainly doesn't have. I want to say planning permission. Whatever the local equivalent of planning
It
permission
was
is.
turned down on
Failed
account
to
of
have it.
bad aspect for
Basically.
neighbouring properties.
It was not blending in with the local aesthetics.
If there's one thing I hate, it's property developers who don't pay attention to what they've been turned down on. Even more reason to mess up whoever comes for this tunnel. Don't respect the local council's planning department.
It's in a heritage site area.
Yeah, this is an area of outstanding natural beauty, and they're messing it up.
Oh, it's like that guy in Hot
Like-
Fuzz with his house in the village.
It's a grade 2 listed well, and they're messing it up.
How about one or two of us go out tonight? Like, pick the lock. Can we pick the lock from inside the room? I can't remember. There was a
think-
bolt, wasn't there?
I think
There's
it
a
was
bar.
like a bar
Oh,
across the
okay.
door. We had to get out the window last time.
I'm just thinking, because Varlastan did say that there was not a cellar, but like a semi-underground cutaway that the
Mm.
tavern has. We should probably check that to see if it connects up to any tunnels.
Okay. We could probably check that while we're in the bar, and Jack can maybe try and sneak
Yeah,
sneak
it's worth
down first.
I
'cause
think
then
you're
then the
best person for the job.
yeah, and you guys can distract the barman.
Yeah, we can make sure that attention stays in here.
Yeah, Timidar can try and convince him of his conspiracy theory.
But I'm going to be on the roof.
Oh, you're still gonna be in the roof? Oh.
Yes.
Silek can do some carousing. It's all good.
Silicon area trying to be loud and noticeable. This is going to be the most awkward looking group.
Pretend to have a fight.
I've got an idea. And I've got a good solid plan for rousing the crowd. Trust me.
Okay.
Burlesque show.
We'll just sit at the bar. We'll have our drinks, and when you guys give me the signal, I'll sneak off. And
What's the signal?
we gotta work that out first.
I mean, I won't be there. I just need to know, so I know what's going on.
Well, we could have a code word.
Code word.
Anybody got any good ideas?
Quite a long code word.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. I like it.
Works for me.
I was going to suggest pajamas, but that's just me.
Always thinking about bed.
Oh, bed sounds really nice.
I'll try and
Oh.
make it quick.
Okay. It's been a long day.
I think we should all get some nice warm milk.
Not yet.
Not the most hardcore drinkers in this pub.
I know.
Barman, 4 glasses of your warmest milk.
I shall order some alcohol to tide me over until bed.
Okay.
Well, I suppose, Timidar, if you're going to return to the roof, we'll head inside and get a couple of drinks and let our presence be felt. And, well, when the moment comes, pumpkin.
Pumpkin's the word.
I'm going to return to my lookout post.
Okay.
We'll head inside. I think Silik's going to prop himself up at the bar. I don't know if everybody else is joining at the bar at the same time.
Yeah. We'd have to, like, he'll like sit in the stool, but like low in the stool, so he's not that trying to be as unnoticeable as possible.
And bartender, a round of well, what would everybody like?
I'll have a half pint, like a half pint, because I'm quite sleepy. I might be heading to bed shortly.
And for you, Arya?
Something a bit stronger than a pint, I think. Smile at the barman and distract him.
Sounds good. I'll have whatever she's having.
Very well. Pours a small measure of beer into a suitable glass and puts it in front of Jack, and then turns to pick a heavy-looking jar off the back counter and pours a couple of healthy measures of a nondescript looking liquid, and pushes them towards you. This is a bit of a acquired taste, but I think it'll scratch the itch I think you're having.
Like picks his up and gives it a sniff. How potent are we talking here? Is it burning immediately? Just like
Yeah, it's like you just sniffed some pepper. It's really, really strong. You're not going to be able to smell anything else for a little while. And you can almost feel the alcohol fumes coming off it.
Perfect, damn it. Steaming.
smiles at Arya and gives a little toast.
Yep. Raise my glass and drink. Kind of pulling faces as it goes down.
Strong. Oh, well, certainly sleep well tonight.
Aye, that'll warm you up right enough. Is it to your liking?
Well, it's not bad at all. I've had worse.
Aye, some of the other villagers around here are a little bit less careful. Will you have a little top up? Or will that be enough for you?
I'll have some more, gladly.
Oh, yes, why not? Yes, a solid nightcap.
He dispenses about the same amount again and then turns to put the jar back on the shelf.
Well, here's to our adventure so far. And, well, this is a strange thing to say, I know, but, well, I could really go for a bit of pumpkin right about now.
Slip into stealth.
And he chucks his drink back.
Okay.
And coughs a bit.
So Jack would like to sneak
Yep.
behind
The
the bar.
barman doesn't appear to pay any heed to the to the words. So, can I please have a stealth check for Jack and Constitution checks for the other two?
I got 16.
You're stealthy. That's fine.
I've got a 11.
That'll do.
As Jack is starting to sneak off, Silik starts arousing, kind of like, "Oh, well, yes, to the day! Maybe we should sing a song!" and starts to kind of try and draw more attention to just, like, because Jack is down there, and he's up here giving all hand motions and stuff. He's trying to keep eyeline up there.
What song are you singing?
I don't know. I don't know what would be suitable for this kind of, like...
Something that you've heard Jack sing before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of the gnome songs that Jack sings.
A gnome drinking song.
Yeah.
I don't know the words. I'm not going to attempt to freestyle
That's fine.
gnome drinking songs. Sorry to disappoint.
What was your constitution check, Arya?
17.
That's fine. You probably, particularly Silic, don't want to drink very much more than you currently have of it, but it's not going to
That's why
impair
he
you
really kicked in the
immediately.
high gear.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yes, now is the time. Must act.
Jack, you successfully nip down and around the corner of the bar and through the doorway towards the kitchen. As you go through the doorway, there's a couple of rooms that look to come off it. There's one which is clearly the actual kitchen. You can see the shape of someone in there. It'll be the bar hand, most likely. And then there's a small door beside you, which looks like it does possibly go down a little bit as you go into it.
Can I work out that if it goes down an extra level further down?
It looks like it possibly does, but you'd have to open the door to really be sure.
I'd like to listen at the door first.
Okay, you can't hear anything.
I'd like to push it a little bit open.
It's fine.
Very carefully and sneak my head through. What do I see?
It's a very small half cellar, pretty much exactly as Valley's indicated that they were expected to have.
Is there
Go on.
I was just going to ask if there's any indication of a trapdoor.
It doesn't look like there's anywhere for a trapdoor to be. The floor looks like it's packed earth, and there are barrels on sort of a shelving rig around the outside of the room. So there's a bit of space in the centre, but there doesn't seem to be any way you could plausibly have a trapdoor in there.
Okay, knowing that there's probably not enough time for him to probably give the room a better check, he's gonna close the door quietly and return to the rest of the party.
Okay.
As you're getting back, Silic's finishing up the song. He finished it, and he goes, and that's the bloody reason why the gnome fell down.
We all fall. He's gonna appear with his pipe again. We all fall down. Bedtime.
The barman,
that was a
barman
rousing
looks
song.
very amused at quite how vocal you are this evening.
Oh, you'll excuse my rambunctiousness. It's been quite a day. Well, I won't get into it anyway. What do you think? Maybe we should return to our room for the night. What do you think?
I think you're right, Fred.
Yes, it has indeed been quite a day. I just kind of look round, say goodnight to everyone, and head for the stairs.
The
Likewise.
barman makes pleasant noises in your general direction as you leave, but as usual is not particularly interested in hanging on the conversation if it doesn't need to be had.
As we're going up the stairs, Silic's whispering to Jack, did you find anything?
I did. I couldn't really get a good look through the cellar, but there is another cellar there, but it's mostly storage and stuff's in it. But there is one there, but no, I couldn't get a good look to see if there was a trap door.
Was it was it a proper laid floor?
Yes.
No, it was packed earth.
No, it was earth. It was earthen floor.
That would be next to impossible for a trapdoor then. So if there was nothing on the walls, then
Well, there was like shelves.
It doesn't sound like there's a tunnel in there.
Maybe not yet.
I can only assume that they were aiming for the inn when they hit the well, because a tunnel going into the bottom of a well isn't like a well that's in frequent daily use. Doesn't seem like the best planning.
Yeah, they maybe gotten lost or had some really bad navigators.
And
'Cause-
they definitely, like, they had to plan this fairly well. If tunnels aren't allowed here.
I mean, depending on how many you've got working on a tunnel, it's not quick.
But they've managed to do it without causing any collapses and on the surface.
Not yet.
It could be magical in nature. There's all kinds of means of
That's true.
manipulating the earth.
That's true.
I don't think there's any lasting magic in it though. Or at least I didn't pick up on any.
Unless it was a giant earthworm. And he just jumped
Okay.
his way through. Jump, 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 jump.
Could be.
I mean, it makes about as much sense as someone building a spiral pathway up in a
you-
tunnel.
Did you not say you fought a creature in your dream?
Yeah.
Could that have not maybe made its way through?
So in our dream, there was instead of coming to a fork in the tunnel, we came to a giant cavern. And that's where we met the creature. It could fit, I'm sure it could fit through the tunnels, but it didn't look like the right sort of creature to like eat its way through, if that makes sense. Although it does make me wonder if what we experienced might have been one of the local memories. If there was a cavern that size, could that have been what made the area with the observatory fall?
Potentially.
Possibly.
It didn't feel like we walked far enough for that, but I mean, it was inside a dream, so logic gets a bit iffy inside dreams.
That's true.
You make me cautious about going to sleep tonight. It makes me wonder what we might experience.
I know what I'm gonna dream about.
Oh?
Big slide.
It must have been quite something. I'm almost disappointed to have missed it.
Oh, well, we might get another shot, so you never know. You might get a turn on it if Trimidar's feeling up to doing it all over again.
Well, he needs to come down from that roof somehow, I suppose.
Hi, I'd like to see you try and tell him.
Oh, that would either be spectacular or go terribly wrong. I think I will sit up for maybe an hour or so, just to make sure we don't see any purple light.
So I'll join you. I was planning on just polishing my weapons and my gear and just accounting for things generally. I've spent quite a lot of time resting, as you know.
I'm gonna have a nap. All that walking on my wee legs was a bit much. I'm a bit tired now.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on you. Is Kuji around right now?
Juji is napping.
Okay. Selec looks over and sees Kuji napping and is like, oh, well, it looks like we're all accounted for. Well, have a good rest, Jack. And we'll catch you whenever you, wake, I suppose.
She's gonna bed down and curl up and sleep.
Okay. Meanwhile, on top of a roof, you're very bored.
No, I'm focused.
Those are the same words.
I'm keeping a close eye on that well. I'm ready to spring into action should anything happen.
Well, as the sun starts to set, it's definitely not a hotbed of activity around there.
I wasn't expecting anything to happen straight away. I was expecting if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen after dark.
Okay,
This is a smuggling operation. They don't come out in the daytime.
Or do they?
Only if they're idiots. Kind of daylight smugglers. So yeah, I'm keeping a close eye.
That's fine. If there is anything interesting, I shall let you know.
Good.
Is it your intention, Timidar, to stay up there all night if nothing else happens?
Yes.
And to stay awake?
Yes.
Okay. I shall bear that in mind. So, Jack just settled down to sleep. Chuji is still sleeping. And the sun goes down, as it so predictably does. The sounds from below, you can hear the innkeeper coming round and dropping the bar across the door to keep you safe overnight. All the sorts of familiar noises. After a few nights in here, it's a bit of a routine you've been getting used to. And that really is the start of the night. So it goes from sunset to dark relatively quickly around here. And everything is pretty quiet. There's no interest in lights, there's no interest in noises. Occasional wildlife, nothing out of the ordinary at all. Either from the point of view of those of you inside the room or from those of you on the roof. Probably 90 minutes or so after proper dark has hit, there is a massive explosion, orange flame, bursts of noise, some sounds of things popping, sounds of glass breaking. It's a huge cacophony, and it's coming from the direction of the Roundhouse.
So it runs up to the window. I'm assuming, has Jack been roused by this? Like, what's the state in the room?
Yeah. Jack and Chuji are awake.
What?
On. Looking out the window, can I see, like, from our angle? Is it possible to see out to the Roundhouse?
You can't draw a direct line to the Roundhouse, but you know roughly where it is, and that it's definitely the same direction that you can see a lot of orange flame, smoke hurtling up. There's not a great deal of detail. You can't see the building directly, but it definitely looks like there's something significant going on.
We need to go
Take it
help
to the Roundhouse. Oh, sorry.
It's fine. I think it's perfectly reasonable for both to be calling out at the same time.
We need to go.
There is
We
a
need to go.
fire.
Yeah, we gotta go help put it out.
I'm gonna grab his boots and Holly's.
Yes, quickly. Let's. Well, I guess the door's barred. We're gonna have to go out the window again. Let's
Okay.
tie the rope in the previous fashion that we did, and just get out the window as quick as possible.
Scale down the wall.
Yep.
It doesn't take you any significant time.
Where's Timidar?
Still on the roof.
Should we grab him?
How's Timidar reacted to this?
I think I've heard it, and I've kind of. Can I see it from where I am, or is this angles different?
You've got about as much visibility of it as you would have done from the room, so you can see that it's approximately the direction of where you think the roundhouse is from where you are.
Okay.
But you can't see a building.
All right. Well, pondering that this is probably connected to these smugglers that I'm preparing to deal with, I figure I should investigate. So I get down off the roof and head in that direction.
Okay.
As will we.
Yeah.
I guess our group.
Yeah, say so.
Are we
So
close enough that we can see each other as he's come down off the roof? Or...
that will bring Timidar out into your line of sight from the courtyard that the well's in. So that's easy.
Well, we should get some water. We should get buckets and go to the well and get water and... Oh, fire. Fire.
Yes, quickly. Looking around, are there any buckets, anything to hand that...
Are there other villagers?
Yeah, what else is going on?
You can't see other villagers, but they wouldn't necessarily be coming your way.
Okay.
And they might not go out
Oh, that's true.
because it's difficult to tell if it's real or a memory. So it might just be up to us. Although Varlastan seems to have strong magic, so
Well...
yeah.
She was experimenting, wasn't she? Or investigating something.
She was investigating and had a very powerful magic circle for transporting, teleporting. It's going to be difficult to get water from the well to the roundhouse with just the four of us.
Grab a cart. Fill the cart with buckets. Drive the cart there.
You may find it
lots.
easier to bring well from the market square than from the inn.
Okay then.
Yeah.
It's a bigger well besides.
I didn't realise there was a second well.
Aye. The inn, thankfully, is not the only water source for the village.
If you're taking the cart to the well, I will cast light on it. Because it'll be easier to see what you're doing rather than trying to rely on the light from the fire.
Yeah.
If we can grab a cart then, and a bunch of buckets, or anything to put water into.
Yeah.
There are old barrels kicking around that haven't yet been shipped off to be reused, so...
So like heaves as many as possible onto the back of the cart as quickly as possible.
As they're doing that, Arya is going to run to the roundhouse.
Okay.
And call for Varlastan,
Okay.
hoping to get a response.
Okay. As you go through the market square, it's immediately obvious that the roundhouse is the focal point of the explosion. There is debris halfway across the market square. There is a gigantic fire in what would have been the roundhouse footprint, and you're not getting anywhere near it to speak to anybody.
Oh dear.
How do you mean we're not getting anywhere near it? Sorry.
It's far too fierce a fire for you to get close. You'll have to. You would have to. You would have to douse it significantly before you'd be able to deal with the temperatures.
It's a cantrip. I can do it consistently.
It is.
While Arya and Timidar are doing that, Silicon Jack, maybe we could be going to the well, the main well, and we'll start loading up barrels and just filling them as quickly as possible.
Okay. That's fine. Ray of Frost is effective to Midar against some of the smaller outline fires, but the core of the blaze is far too hot for you to be able to freeze enough of it fast enough for it to not melt and retouch.
Well, I don't mind if it melts, because then it's just water.
Aye, but the water isn't then keeping the fire out, is the problem.
It's like just steaming, basically.
Is it a magical fire?
It doesn't appear to be a magical fire, but there's a significant amount of magical debris around you.
I don't like this.
Can I tell if the explosion was caused by magic?
You would have to be a lot closer to...
Okay.
Don't touch any of the debris.
It's the debris is kind of secondary concern at the moment. As far as we know, Varlastan was inside when that exploded.
Oh,
Don't
dear.
touch any pieces of Varlastan.
Fair? Yep. Hopefully she's not in PCs, but yes.
We've got to be realistic here. She's a goner. She's long gone. Like
It
that way,
definitely
that way,
looks
and
like
that
it.
way.
If she was inside when that went, it doesn't look good. But there's no way that that could have happened by accident, surely.
Insurance plot.
It's certainly something.
At this point, I think Jack and Slick maybe should wheel up and jump off the cart. And Slick,
Come on, Hersey.
quickly
come
try
on."
and help me with the barrels. And he picks one up. Like, these are now heavily laden water barrels. How is he doing with this? I mean, he's a strong guy. I don't know whether I should even be asking this question. But
Probably rolling them. Just roll them into the fire.
he's going to kind of need to do something to get them in there. And I'm kind of Donkey Kong is thinking, give it a good heave of a barrel and
I mean,
chucking it
that's,
into the
that's
center of the
reasonable.
flames.
You're not going to be able to keep that up for a huge amount of time, but you're certainly going to be able to get an initial set of barrels flung at the fire.
Would Timidar, would you be able to cast Ray of Frost on the barrels? So they're ice when they land, and then it will cool down that area of fire more.
I mean, yeah, I can do that.
What a good plan.
Okay. That's absolutely fine. There's no reason why that plan doesn't work.
Got a little assembly line then.
Yep. You are vaguely conscious that as the barrels hit the fire, they're now exploding a little bit themselves as the temperature changes very rapidly. It is having a little bit of an impact, but what you can also see is that it looks like whatever was fueling the fire is starting to wear out, because you're driving it back, but also the flames that you aren't catching are starting to drop a little in intensity.
Okay, can I push any closer to the roundhouse now?
A little bit. You're probably still going to be 25 feet away. Even if you're willing to suffer a little bit to get that close.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be shuffling dirt into the fire as well. Try and
Yep.
smother the flames.
Yep. I will join you because I can't think of anything else I can do that's actively useful right now.
Silik's probably running out of barrels and strength at this point and is starting to just wane a little bit and maybe leaning forward on his knees a bit between barrel throws and It doesn't seem to be working that well, but the flames are dying down.
Where is everybody?
Oh, yes. Doesn't seem like anybody else is alarmed by this, or at least they're not coming out to help.
I know they get freaked out at nighttime, but this is an actual event.
But if you've grown up knowing that memories at nighttime can seem real, how can you tell the difference?
Just gonna like gesture to the flaming building next to her. I think that's sufficient enough.
Yes, maybe we should try and make this unique enough that then people will know that it's now. And Silic starts shouting it like at the top of his voice. Everyone, it's now. It's now. The fire is now. And he looks around.
The circle around house is on fire.
He looks towards windows. Is there any indication of anybody?
Absolutely no indication that anybody is paying you any heed whatsoever.
Not even a twitching curtain. How dare they?
Oh, damn this place. How much are the flames? How quick are the flames like going back at this point? Is there a clear epicenter where it might be that there was some kind of like fuel or something that's caused this?
Yeah, it looks like there was a definite core to the flames. They are starting to dwindle. The water has helped, especially with the addition of the ice. It's now Timidar at the sort of point where you'd be able to speed it along with Ray of Frost.
Another option I've got. Prestidigitation, one of the things is I can instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire. Can we consider this many small campfires put together?
They're from the edges, yeah.
Just the smaller ones on the outside. I can just be like, haha, haha, haha.
The little points of flame that amongst the debris. Yes, you can prestidigitate those out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just mixing it up between that and Ray of Frost because they're both cantrips.
Doing one in one hand and one in the other and swapping.
Doesn't do to get typecast.
Exactly.
But yeah, the flames are now dying down rather faster than you would routinely expect. Whatever the fuel was for the fire in the main, it's something that has burnt very quickly. A lot faster than you'd expect from the construction of the Roundhouse. But equally, you can, if you glance around you can probably see 3/4 of the wall in pieces across the market square. So exactly what it was burning is a bit of a guess at this point.
I don't like any of this.
No.
We're gonna have to wait till this dies out, it seems, to get any idea of what's happened here. It won't be too long with any luck.
Yes,
Yeah.
Timidar's certainly doing a good job.
definitely.
Good work, Timidar.
Yeah.
Team effort.
Just gonna continue kicking dirt into the flames just to help along.
Timidar gets 2 full days of sleep after this.
Uninterrupted bliss.
I wish I could have 2 full days of sleep.
Preach into the choir.
Settle for just 1 night of sleep.
I'd like a short coma, please.
Yeah. Just knock me out for a bit.
Sounds good.
Okay. You're managing to advance on the flames now. You're getting somewhat closer without it being too hot to deal with. And you can see from the debris that you're now really inside the Roundhouse.
Mhm.
From your memory of having visited it just earlier, you're probably in the office, and the flames are coming from down to one side of you, set further back towards the towards where the earth rises.
Towards the storage room and the tunnel. That's...
I reckon we need to go down that tunnel, because,
We need to open the trapdoor.
yeah, this is all a bit suspicious.
We should also check if all of the magical artifacts have been destroyed.
I'm
Well-
just gonna look around.
Okay, if the magical artifacts are still there, or whether they were moved out before the fire.
I mean, she did have that portal, so she could have taken some away somewhere else, so
You're saying this was an insurance job.
it might be.
I just hope that Varlastan wasn't inside at the time.
Given that she lied earlier, I'm guessing she's not.
The timing is definitely suspicious.
So suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. And she was suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are you going to look?
First, I want to look at where the magic teleporting circle was.
Okay, so that would have been somewhere in between you and the flames.
Yeah.
Which are definitely now at a very dwindled level. That's fine. You can move. You can head that way. There is a lot of debris. You can make out some of the markings on the floor still. Not some of them are obscured by debris. Some of them look like they've been scorched off. It's not, even for Timidar, it's not an area of expertise. It's quite high level magic, the teleportation circles, but it's unlikely that it would still be in operation at this point.
Is it possible to use Arcana to try and work out how long ago it was last used?
Yes. One of you can make an Arcana check to test that, whoever wants to do that.
I have a +2, so it might be better if Timidar does it.
I mean, I have a +3, but Arcana is actually just meant to be how well you remember magical information, not stuff like that. Not to undercut us.
I know
but
that.
Fair enough.
It's got a lot of damage to it.
But
so
there isn't a commune with teleportation circle ability.
No, but there is detect magic as a spell. That's why it's a separate thing. But
yes,
I got a 20.
That's fine. It does appear to be possible to still recall some of the information from the teleportation circle. You're not familiar with the technique to do it, but you are able to make an approximate guess that it's been used in the last 24 hours.
We already knew that, though, because we saw her using it like 4 hours ago.
Oh, well.
Oh well. We tried.
We did. We tried. We don't know for certain yet what happened. Can I do a general... All of the records are going to be gone as well. What if that's what someone was trying to hide?
Well, we won't know now.
No.
There's still that tunnel. We should certainly check out when the fires have died down enough. What's going on around there?
The cellar was next door to that room where the portal was. So it's not too far away then.
Yeah, but that's where the
Flames are
the remaining fire still is. So
That look
More
at it.
dirt.
Yeah. Silic will join in. Whatever's required to try and dampen down and get us into that place at this point.
Yep, that's fine. It fades off reasonably easily at this stage. It's definitely run out of whatever fueled the initial flames. So with a couple of minutes of dirt kicking and ray of frosting, you should be able to get the flames out or near as damn it.
Is there any smell to the aftermath of this? Like, is it because fire can have a unique quality to it based on what's being burnt?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything recognizable?
It smells very strongly of sulfur.
Okay, right. So that's going to be overwhelming. Everybody smells that sulfur. Strange.
Run eggs.
Begs questions of what set this all off. Does
don't
anybody
know.
know of any magic that would leave a residue like this?
Well, I can have a think. I'll do an Arcana check.
I don't know.
17.
You're not aware of any magical spells that would have this as an innate effect.
Oh, well, if you're not sure, Timidar, then maybe a bomb of some sort?
I mean, I could have a look. Do I have alchemy? No, I don't. No.
You're trying to think of an appropriate thing to test there.
Yeah, I was trying to think of maybe like an alchemy kind of check, but I don't really have anything that would support
It's
that.
it's not particularly common in this setup. I'll give an insight roll for one of you.
I have a +2.
Go for it.
Go for that. That is a 19.
That's a decent roll. You're not directly aware of anything that would be useful if you wanted to create this sort of an effect, but you can pick out that the last place where you were able to douse the flames was about the point where you remember seeing boxes of powder.
Oh. There were boxes of powder over it. Oh. Did I really know anything about, like, explosive powders or anything?
Well, there's a variety of such things. Sulfur is certainly one of the components that I've heard of being used.
I think there was a box over there.
Well, a likely culprit. Whether it was intentional or not then becomes the question.
Oh. Hmm. Maybe it was an accidental, like, she spilt something and boom.
Looking around, is there any indication of any remaining body parts? Or
Is there like a mark in the floor?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a body inside,
I don't think there's
even with
much
how
of a body.
fierce the fire was, it will not have been hot enough to crumble bone.
This is true.
So we
Yeah.
should be able to see burnt bone.
Well, it sounded like quite an explosion. I'd imagine this is not going to be a complete body.
Pieces.
But
Little little chunks.
Okay, so with a little bit of scouting for the things you've suggested you might spot, you can see that although there are no remaining boxes, chests, display cabinets, etc., they've all been completely vaporized. It would be reasonable to assume that the reason that you should detect lots of magical debris is because all of the little knickknacks have been scattered across the area, either in one piece or in several. There is what looks like a scorched trail, a specific trail that runs back to the teleportation circle. And under a pile of debris, you find the remains of an arm.
Who found the arm?
You did.
since you asked.
You said you.
Sounded like you volunteered to me.
Silik picks it up.
Ew.
I think I've found. Well, and he kind of goes, "Oh," and puts it down, like, drops it real quick.
There's absolutely
There-
no way that you can conclusively identify the possessor of that arm.
Sirik. Do you need a hand?
Oh, it's very
Like,
poor
I-
taste, but at the same time.
I don't like your new back scratcher, Silik. I've got to be perfectly honest. It's a bit gruesome.
Oh well, I wasn't going to use it like that. So
What were you going to use it for then? Jeez.
I was just
failed and
Josh just gonna grin and be like, I know, like, you don't have to resort to like the charred hand, arm. If you need a hand, just let us know. There's the three of us. We can lend you a hand. You don't need to resort to the charred hand. Why did you
kidding
pick
me.
it up?
Or just ask someone in a bar, you know.
well, I wasn't thinking. I just simply wanted to show it to you guys.
You could have pointed it to it out. You didn't actually have to pick it up.
Pick it up, wave it around like, hey, you kids want to see
Well,
a dead
I
body.
know.
Like-
Hey, do you need an extra hand?
The important bit is that now we know that there are indeed remains, somebody's remains here. We should check for the minor magical artifacts, and then we should wait and do the rest of this investigation under daylight.
Well, hold on real quick. I don't want this crime scene getting contaminated. Look at this scorched trail. Here's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
This arm is a decoy. It's a real arm, but it's not Valisin's arm. She's hacked it off of some unwitting victim, or she had a third arm or something. Either way, she had a spare hanging around. This scorched trail implies that somebody stood in the circle, had a trail of flammable material, dropped a candle in it to set this off like a fuse, and teleported themselves away, leaving behind the arm to make it look like they were killed in an accidental explosion.
Have you met somebody with an extra arm?
Have you not?
Well, no, not personally.
It could be, or it could be that someone else came through in the teleportation circle and caused it and teleported away, and that arm does belong to Valisin.
But what about this trail, though? That's some kind of like fuse mark.
Or
Hmm.
she was experimenting, got hurt, and then realized oh no, this is gonna explode, and teleported away but lost her arm in the process.
Better leave my arm here. Yeah.
Well, is the arm the only thing that's around here? And so they kind of roots around a little bit more.
Well, let's have a
I
look
feel
around.
like to find body parts.
Make a fine body
We've
part check.
got to answer the question now. If this person survived, and that whether the arm was a remnant of their escape, or whether there's actually, as grisly as it is to consider, another part of the body that might otherwise answer the question.
Well, if they did survive, I don't think we've got much to worry about. They're pretty armless now.
Oh, you guys, what happened while I was away? These puns.
They got dark. That's what
No.
a day in the tunnel will do to you.
Yep.
The other thing that you noticed as you were scouting around is that the trapdoor burnt out, but the hole is filled with debris. So it looks like some of the debris from the explosion went vertically and then came back down. So the hole is now unusable, but doesn't appear to have actually collapsed.
So that's 2 entrances closed off.
I mean, we could probably clear that one.
Yeah, we dig this one out.
Yeah.
Or we could just knock down those bricks again.
And I take it there's no sign. Silig's continuing to scrabble about. Is there any other indication of this person having survived and lost an arm, or if there's other parts and indication of anything going on there?
You don't see anything while you're looking through the debris at the moment. It's not the best light to be working in, despite various ways of adding illumination to the area that aren't making a big explosion. But you have a reasonable scout around, and although you can see and pick out some of the magical knickknacks that were scattered, there's nothing immediately suggestive of body parts that you're able to turn up without really excavating the debris away.
Okay, giving up for now then. Silig turns over and he's like, "Oh, I'm. It seems like there's nothing else to indicate that there's a body here or anything else. Maybe your idea about somebody escaping and losing their arm through the portal is correct."
If there's nothing else here, then you would logically the rest of the body parts would be in just as good a shape as this arm, and I'd pick it up and wave it around.
Well, yes, of course, yes, unless there's something trapped underneath some of these larger parts of the wall that have caved in. Oh, what's wrong with you?
Try to lighten the mood a little bit.
Stop picking up the arm and just put it on the ground.
Fine.
Please return the arm where it was found.
Where did you find it? Select.
There may be important contextual clues that we can find under daylight.
Well, it was
Select. Put this
over
back.
there and
Put it back exactly as you found
takes
it.
and puts it kind of vaguely where it was.
Oh, exactly as you found it.
We're
Okay, and
making archaeologists twitch.
he tries
much
to remain
switching.
fingers and what have you, and kind of what he vaguely remembers to be the position that they were in is
Getting the
they feel
angle
very
all
guilty
right.
and like he's being peer pressured into this and it's working. So
Clues. We'll need the clues.
yeah.
Well,
How late is it now?
You've been dealing with this probably for a couple of hours at this point. So you're partway through the night.
Is the fire mostly out?
The fire is pretty much out. It doesn't look like it would catch back up.
And it's not going to spread to any other buildings.
No.
Okay.
I can confidently leave it alone now.
Yes, sleep.
We're going to bed.
I think we'll have a long day again tomorrow.
We might have to explain what happened to the barrels.
We will.
Or we don't.
This is going to be...
Because we came out the window, so we don't have to tell them anything.
We could just, turn up along with everyone else in the morning. And
We were in bed. We were in
It's
bed.
like, oh no, what happened here?
Oh dear, you lost your barrels? Oh no. Oh. Do you want us to get you some new ones?
It's like some heroes used
A
your
job,
barrels to
a
put
job.
the fire out.
We've got a
Oh,
job.
We do.
Hopefully they'll be understanding. Yes, we should probably be quiet about it at least to begin with. See what people say if nobody notices, and that's whatever. But
I
yeah,
think they'll notice, because they were supposed to return them to swap out their wine, were they not?
Considering that a building just blew up, I don't think the barrels are going to be their biggest worry.
Yeah.
Especially as Varlastan is their circle representative. And she's been here for... What was it she said? When they were rebuilding the village 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time to have someone here.
The saying is, she had a good run.
Timidar.
Dark, but accurate.
I mean, we didn't know her, but the village knows her, so it's gonna hurt
that's
them the
assuming
most.
that's assuming she didn't escape through that portal.
Yeah.
Yes, all the wild conspiracy theories that we've got, but we've no evidence yet.
We'll find the evidence, or we'll make it.
Timidar. What did
Those
we
are
tell
the two
you?
options.
No, you can't plant things like that. That's criminal, and we work for the circle. We can't do that.
Yeah, so who's going to question us? I'm
Well,
joking.
But we're on our loop. It's not like we're representatives. Not like proper representatives.
We might have to send a message to the next village's one, so they can make the circle aware.
This is true. This could be a reason for us to move on and pass the message to as you say, the next village along. Allow them to provide assistance.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but it's way past bedtime. And I think we're okay with this fire.
Mm-hmm. I
Yes.
can't plan more tonight. I just need to sleep.
Yes, throwing all those barrels was exhausting work. I think we should all head back.
Okay, well, I will reluctantly pass out for a very long and comfortable sleep.
You deserve a long break, Timidar. You did really well with your spells. They were so helpful.
Who's going to take up my post on the roof?
It's fine. It's fine. I think with the fact that there was a big explosion, I think the smugglers have maybe put off their smuggling for the night. It's too hot. See? With all the fire?
Unless they knew I was up there. This was the perfect distraction.
Well,
I mean, it's quite dramatic for a distraction.
I
yes.
suppose.
That makes it the perfect distraction. You don't want a subtle distraction. You want something big and dramatic. And yes, I'm
But
with you.
Well,
No, you.
As the one who was, I suppose, rested the most recently, I could volunteer to sit on the roof for a little while at least.
But then they're gonna know that we got out if Timidar doesn't go back on the roof.
No, they don't. They know they know that there was people. They know that we retired to our room.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just assume that Timidar was in with us.
Yes, nobody came knocking on the door.
So, what are they going to do anyway?
This is true. If we're out doing loop business, then
Yeah, we'll just be like, well, circle business. Mind your own P's and Q's.
That's a bit rude.
Well, you know, a bit rude to be like, why aren't you in bed? You know, it cuts both ways.
I suppose.
Yes.
Well, let's get on our way then.
I better take the horse back to the stable.
Oh, yes, of
Oh, we
course.
have a horse with us.
We had a cart full of all the barrels that are now no barrels.
I guess in my head I thought Silic was pulling the cart.
What, by himself?
Right, he's a big boy.
He is a big boy, but it's a bit cruel to lift the whole cart full of water-filled barrels. That's a lot of weight.
Well,
I
it's
don't
got
know.
wheels.
Just doing strongman stuff.
Flipping
In
over
fact-
tires.
In fairness, they weren't water filled when you brought them to the market square.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I'd initially assumed Silic was going to be pulling the cart, and then it was
Oh.
specified that there was a horse, and that was fine.
It was the first we're hearing about the horse.
I thought it was
No, the
horse
horse was mentioned at the time that the cart was being brought through.
Fair enough.
Much as I love the idea that something was pulling the cart like that's now stuck in my mind. At some point,
It's
maybe.
like just like oiling himself up and posing and things in the background.
Everybody get on. Let me show you how strong I am.
Look at these pecs. Look at my total pecs. Look at them. Have you ever seen such turtle power? Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll go back and retire for the night.
Finally, some sleep. I swear the Arya is just turning into me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to do... Okay, if I need to do the things, I will do the things. Can I sleep now?
Jack's gonna check on Kuji.
You alright, Kuji?
And Tuji is trying to. She looks like has been hiding under blankets, but has
Oh,
sort of
Tuji.
emerged once things got quieter.
Oh, Kuji. Oh, sorry. There was a fire. A building had an accident. We had to. It's out now.
It was no accident.
We don't know yet. We have to investigate tomorrow. It's okay now. Everything's okay. He's gonna wrap the blanket around her and just like, you can go to bed now. Everything's fine. You're safe.
Everything is not fine, Gucci.
Ignore him. Ignore him. He's grumpy. He used
I'm
a lot of
realistic.
magic. He used a lot of magic today, so he needs a big nap.
I use a lot
himself.
of magic every day.
But
Yeah,
not all.
this
Not
time
all
you
of the
had
time.
to focus on something rather than just warming up your milk.
I made a slide today.
You did
And I
a
put out a
lot.
fire.
You
It's
did
been a
a
busy
lot.
day.
You've used a lot of ray of frost.
I have. I'm getting good at it.
Practice, 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 practice.
Yeah, this was good practice. We should set fire to more buildings.
We didn't set fire to any buildings.
I know. I also, I want to acknowledge that I was the one very recently saying we should burn down the building that burned down. It was not me.
Thank you for the clarification.
I need to preemptively clear my name on this because, like, I
I
know
feel
as a
like-
group we've got a pretty high average, thing of being suspicious of people, and I know, admittedly, that's mostly me, but still, we're a
You've
group
got a pretty-
enterprise here.
You've got a pretty good motive, though.
I do.
You threatened it before, and now it's gone. And
I did hate that building. This does play directly into my, sort of theories and plans and everything. And look, I'm not even gonna bullshit you. This is a good thing that happened. I'm happy about this.
Well, we'll see about that in the long run, I suppose.
Some poor persons that possibly lost their life or just their arm. They're armless.
I made that joke earlier.
I know, but still they're armless. They're either dead and they don't care, or they're wandering about armless and aimless.
Okay, I'll walk it back. It's not actively a good thing, but I don't really think it's.
You're
I think,
lying.
yeah.
I think we should. I think we should figure out maybe if we can figure out where that portal went, and maybe answer the question of what happened to the rest of that person. Whether that's our familiar. Well, their name escapes me constantly. But whether it was them or not.
Varlastan? No, that's the series. Valley
Varlastan.
Forge? Varlastan.
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 That's it.
That's
I always remember the last bit and not the first bit. It's like it's sin. 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 It has sin in it.
The synonym. Well, that's my time, folks. That's not a bad pun. Oh, no.
Bedtime.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're all back up in the room, tidied the rope away, and you are able to settle down for a well-deserved rest. And that is where we will leave it for this evening.
Okay.
We get to go to bed.
You get to go
Yeah.
to bed.
Yay.
in the game
Sleep
and
for
end
the
in life.
party.
And in life. Trouble is, if I go to bed in real life now, I know my brain, and I will wake up at 1 a.m. and my brain will go, I know you've had 2.5 hours sleep, but
It's time
guess
to get
what?
up.
Guess what, bitch? We're awake. You know?
Yep.
No.
Good.
Know that feeling all too well.
Yeah. I can't be dealing with none of this 1 o'clock in the morning waking back up again.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
Yeah.
Or not being able to sleep until like after midnight and your alarm for work goes off at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's my life.
It's not great.
Okay, so
Okay, so outro stuff.
Ooh.
Me or
we
you?
go. You can do it if you like.
Okay. So, yes, we are Penance RPG, or we are part of Penance RPG. AJ, Timidar,
Me.
runs Pretending with Dice, which is another podcast, an actual play podcast, which does a bunch of different things. And his Twitch is now linked in chat. And Eden, or Silic, also does things on here. Mostly Clone Hero, but I think it's a bit of a mix.
Yeah, Fallout recently. Fallout New Vegas. That'll be coming up again soon. I don't know when, but soon.
And our GM, Lunrwolf, is an occasional streamer of a weird variety of things.
None more words than that.
We have episodes go out on the podcast every Sunday. You can find us on most podcast apps. We have this and our other actual play stream are both going up on YouTube, but you can also find a bunch of our other streams and the podcast actual plays up on there as well. So that's a good place to get everything at once. We also are very lucky and have 2 affiliate dice sponsors. So you can get 10% off with, if I can get to it again. I've just realised I'm posting all of these as me rather than as Penance. I am Dragonweir. That's who's posting the stuff. So we have our first sponsor is UK based. They do a massive variety of dice and some other accessories. If you put in the code Penance RPG, you get 10% off your delivery. And you get it's free shipping for the UK, and I think the rates for most other places are actually pretty decent. And our other sponsor, who do a few dice, but not very many, fortunately, so they don't overlap too badly, is Gemhammer and Sons Gaming. They have third-party content for that is D&D compatible, but also works with other systems as well. So both of them are now linked in chat, and I think that's everything. I'm sure someone will shout if I've missed something out.
I think that's everything.
Sounds like
That's everything.
Okay, I will just need to pick someone for us to raid into then. And I'm going to go for... We shall raid into... Vic the Viking, who is marked as lost and random. So that will be interesting. So, thank you very much for joining us this evening. And Nikolai and the group and others will be back tomorrow evening, I believe. And you can see in the stream information below, all of the various different things and when we're streaming. There's things most days of the week. You'll usually find us on here in some capacity. So thank you very much, and good night.
Good night.
Bye.
bye-bye.
I'll continue waiting.